Hey, Tony Gaskins here. A little story time for you. Listen, I just want to tell all the parents out there, pay attention to your kids' gifts, and make sure that you're not forcing your child into something that your child is not built for. I think a lot of times as parents, we y'all forgive me, picking up food for the family. I think a lot of times as parents, we live through our children, and our children kind of become like these little, what you call it? They become our entertainment, and we'll nearby break our kids, forcing them to do and be who we want them, what we want them to do and be who we want them to be, instead of paying attention to their natural gifts. And you got to take some time and you got to spend some time and make sure you paying attention to your child's natural gift, because every boy is not a football player. Every boy is not a fighter, boxer, MMA, UFC, whatever the stuff is. Because I played football because my family played football, like my cousins and not my uncles, my cousins, all my cousins played football, and some of them set records, and one of them led the state in rushing. And so I played football, and guess what I played? I played running back, but I'm not a football player. I wasn't like rugged like that. I was more finesse. So, but I was good at it because I was fast. And I was a running back. But when I got to college, it got real. Like, I had never really got hurt all through Little League. I mean, I got hurt, but I didn't process that it was hurt, because we used to do bull in the ring and you just bash heads all day. And I had a big helmet because I got a big head. So I'm just bashing heads. We just bashing heads. And the coaches, they doing it because it's fun for them. They watching these kids bash heads. And we was doing this even in 9th grade. I remember in 9th grade football, we in bull in the ring, bashing heads. And I mean, crown on crown. So you know you getting concussions. But that's just what it was, because it was a way out. It was like, this is what's gonna pay for your college. This is what's gonna, you could become a NFL player. And it's dangerous. It's dangerous because you could be playing golf or you could be playing tennis, and it's like, yeah, it's expensive. All that stuff expensive, but closed mouth don't get fed. You might know a millionaire in your city that'll sponsor your child. You might, the same way you make a way to get them Jordans or to get that Xbox, some of that stuff could be sacrificed if your child want to play a sport, but a sport that'll have less brain trauma, still be challenging, but then the upside of it is much greater. And a lot of times people assume that just NFL players deal with CTE, but I beg to differ. I honestly believe the Division III, the Division II, the guys who never make it to the NFL deal with it just as much, if not worse. Because imagine having to play scout team. When I redshirted my freshman year, I had to play scout team. I was 160 pounds. I ran a 4.4 in the 40, 4.3 on a good day, 4.5 on a bad day. But on average, I ran a 4.4. But when I was on the scout team that freshman year, that redshirt freshman year, we had 2 linebackers that was 260 pounds. I squatted like 400 or 500 pounds. I couldn't remember. But I watched one of our linebackers squat 900 pounds, something crazy. And he could only tackle one way. He had to squat and then explode. But because he squat 900 pounds, imagine how many pounds of force. If he run a 4.5 in the 40 and he squat 900, when the times that he caught me, and the times that he caught me, and he exploded into my temple, imagine what that force did to my brain. And when they got their hands on me, they was trying to kill me because I run 4 touchdowns in a row because we was on they was practicing goal line, and so I have 10 yards to score. And here we got big defensive end, number 1 defense in the conference, back-to-back conference champions. And these boy country fed though, they built different up there because they from Pennsylvania and West Virginia and Ohio. They were built different. Like in Florida, you got a lot of heat, so you sweating off a lot of your weight. You sweating so much, you really don't have a real winter. We more fast and agile. Up there, them boys was just, they were built different. And so they get a hold of me, and one of the linebackers was on steroids. And he used to say, I don't care if I die, I just got to make it to the NFL. So he'll have a whole shipment of steroids coming in. And he never really got to play, and I think it was because of positive tests. But they would always say he got a hurt hamstring or something like that. But I don't know how he had a hurt hamstring. But when he got his hand on me, he would explode right into my temple. And the other guy, he was a little more nice. And one of them exploded to my temple, boom, tackle me. Defensive line, when I ran sweep, so I had to come off the tackle, could never really get his hand on me. He come stomp on my thigh with his cleats. So me and him fighting. So then we'll be in a fight. And that's not really my personality. But it made me a monster. And when I went into my relationship, I couldn't really turn that off, because you taught to, dominate. You taught to annihilate. You taught to compete. So then, and you doing this every day. You doing this, I counted it, we was with football 43 hours a week. So you doing this 43 hours a week, and then you got a girlfriend, and you supposed to just somehow turn this off. And that's why you see the stuff you see happen with athletes and they women and with fighters, boxers and stuff with they women. It's like, it's not easy. And it's not making an excuse, it's an explanation. When somebody's whole life revolves around this level of combat, and then you supposed to at 15, 18, 25 know how to just turn it off and not continue to combat or see the person in front of you as an opponent, it's hard. So to the parents, like, listen, if your child naturally gifted at football, okay, great, cool. But we really gotta stop just forcing fighting and football on our kids if they're not built for it, if they're not meant for it, if they more wired for something else. And even non-contact sports, sometimes sports in general, just may not be your child thing. Your child may want to be in front of a computer and learning how to code, and then building, websites or building apps or software. And that's where people becoming billionaires. Nobody becoming a billionaire from a sport. People become a billionaire from software. And the few that come from a sport, it's not the sport that made them a billion, it's the stuff outside of it. But that's 1 in a million. So that can't really be the goal. So I say that to say, hey, think about this and make sure you are sensitive to the signs of what your child is good at, and don't just force something on your child because your dad did it, or your brother did it, or you did it, or your whole family did it, because then your child is left to live with everything that comes with that, whether that's brain trauma, whether that's a different type of PTSD, whether it's just the inadequate feeling of failing. And then especially when I see men too, I look and I see the select few guys who made it to the NFL, but it don't even necessarily mean they was better. It just mean that some guys just had a better opportunity. Some guys was in a better city. Some guys had a coach that was connected. had a team that was good, had something going for them, and then somebody else could have been playing in the middle of nowhere, no resources, no connection. Sometimes it's about who you know and not just what you do or how good you are at it. And that's the truth. They may like every single person who's good and deserve to be on that level gonna make it, but it's only 53 active players per team, so it got to be somebody else. Like, it's guys at D2 that's better than guys at D1. It's guys at D3 better than guys D1. Guys in junior college better than guys at D1. It's guys who never sniffed the NFL that could have been a Hall of Famer, but lived in the wrong neighborhood, come up in the wrong situation. And so as parents, we got to be sensitive to that and understand, like, what is your child good at? And what are your child's gifts? And are you forcing your child? Are you living through your child? And be mindful of that. And try everything and make a way. Like, sometimes you could go to the league and it might be soccer, it might be baseball, and you could go to the league and they say, look, no, we don't share this because everybody will be crying broke, everybody will be poor mouthing, but we got scholarships. So you want your child to play baseball, we got a scholarship. We actually got a generous donor who they want to help less fortunate kids, kids who parents can't afford it. We got that. Closed mouth don't get fed. You have not because you ask not. Sometimes you got to open your mouth and say, listen, this is what I want to do, but I can't afford X amount of dollars. Like, do y'all have a way to help? But at the end of the day, this is about your child, it's about their livelihood, it's about their future. Because I live today feeling something, not knowing what it is, but feeling something from the amount of times I've been hit in the head and just feeling different, and just having to be very quiet a lot of times and very measured and just different, and brain just kind of being on a loop, and gotta be doing different exercises and being really tapped in and serving in my purpose a lot, and just really locked in because of the things that I have suffered for a game I ain't even love the game. It was a way out. It was a way to pay for college. And it's hundreds of thousands of humans missing the mark and missing their purpose because they were put on a path by those around them who didn't take the time to look to see what this child is good at, but instead say, do this because this is what we do. So I want you to think about that and be okay with your child not being a football player, with your child not being a boxer, with your child not being an athlete. And also be okay with your child not being a doctor, or not being a lawyer, or not being a computer person, and being a athlete. Like, let your child gifts make room for them and support them in every way you can. And for those of us who, our parents did the absolute best they could do and they just didn't know any better, I don't hold nothing against my parents because they didn't know any better. They didn't play sports in high school. Neither my mom or dad didn't play sports, but I was athletic growing up. But my parents knew nothing about sports. And really not much of my family did. And the people who do, they worry about their own household. So they're not coming and saying, hey, do this with little Tony. Put him in this, put him in that. Take him here, take him there. They're not doing that. And I remember I went to the Nike camp and Devin Hester was at the camp. I didn't know that then. I found out later that I'm at the same camp running the 40 and doing the drills, but not really paying attention, not networking, not really taking it serious. I'm running a 4.5 when if I had somebody that showed me how to get in the stance and showed me how to, accelerate, like what that 4.5 could have been when I was in the 11th grade and I run a 4.5, what could that have been had I had somebody show me what to do? Like, teach me form. I'm just running. And so I say that to say, you know, we can't be upset about that, but when you know better, you got to do better. And so my oldest son, he played 1 season of football, but he was already so traumatized by the time he played, he really didn't really get into it. Traumatized just from hearing about concussions all the time. My youngest son, he may never play, you know, just because it's not necessary. Because when I think about it, the game itself, it don't teach you no more than any other sport will teach you, but it can change you, and it can cost you more than any other sport may cost you. So I'm not gonna have my sons play football unless they actually really want to, and if they want to, then I'm gonna prepare them to understand what they're getting into and to be the best at it based on their abilities. But I'm not gonna force them just because I see it as a rite of passage. I want them to play a season, but then even when I think about that, I'm like, that season could change your life. If you out there and you don't want to be out there, when you get inside them lines, you could lose something. You could lose a limb, you could lose mobility, you could lose your life. You don't ever play inside them lines. Meaning, when I say play, I mean get in there less than 100%. Get in there and don't want to be in there, because it could cost you. And you could want to be in there and it still cost you. You could want it more than anybody and it still costs you something. And so you got to understand, as parents, we got to pay attention to our children and just make sure that we not lusting after that lifestyle of being a pro athlete's dad or pro athlete's mom, to where we forcing and pushing our kids to do things that they not really that good at. And I see it all the time working with college teams and working with pro teams. I see athletes and I'm like, you ain't supposed to be an athlete. Yeah, you could do it, but you supposed to be running a clothing line, because you care more about the photo in your outfit in the hallway than you do about this game. You're supposed to be a rapper, because you care more about rapping than you do about this game. And I see it all the time. Just people, gifts being mismanaged, and as parents, we got to do better with that. Hey, this is Tony Gasson. God bless. I ain't mean this video to be so long, but I be talking. But see, again, that's my brain. That's what my brain need at this stage of my life. I got to talk your head off so I keep my sanity. God bless you. We'll talk soon.